Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Bhatnagar and I'm with you with the specific area of AFM Mini Marathon JIB October 2024, and this is our YouTube channel JIB CIB English Medium. How are we everyone? I hope you're all doing fine. Today I'm gonna talk about the Module A and Module B, of course. That's the particular theme for today. But how are we going to cover it? I'm going to cover different kind of questions today, starting from theoretical questions to reasoning and assertion, numerical questions, all inclusive of it. So please, first of all, share the session, like the session, and subscribe to the channel right away. One more request, everyone, if you're preparing for this examination, our revision batch is starting today itself. So you can also be there in our generic session where we are going to talk about, I said not the generic session, but the first class for our revision that would be starting today. So please be there in that particular session as well. Acha everyone, let's begin with the particular topic without wasting any more time. Let's begin with it. Okay, today I'm going to talk about exclusively the module A and module B overall. Done. Okay. Audible clearly. Now comes, when we talk about this today, we are going to talk about the various practice questions, है ना? So here comes the specific topic, everyone. Here's the first question. It's from the Accounting Standard Board, which says, which of the following statements about the Accounting Standard Board is correct? The ASB has the authority to enforce compliance with the accounting standards. ASB is responsible for conducting financial audits. ASB formulates accounting standards based on the input from industry and the government representatives. ASB can directly issue accounting standards without public consultation. What is ASB, everyone? Accounting Standards Board is responsible for making of the accounting standards. Okay, so this is the particular organization which is responsible for this working altogether. So what's going to be the answer in this case? It is basically responsible for making of the accounting standards, and it is basically, earlier it was taking care of that. Right now NEFRA has started taking care of it as per the latest information. If we'll go through the National Financial Reporting Standards, National Financial Reporting Authority, that is related to NEFRA is the one which is taking care of this particular work of ASB. Earlier ASB, Accounting Standards Board was responsible for making the standards. Okay? So in this case, the correct answer is C, everyone. The ASB formulates accounting standards based on the input from the industry and the government representatives. Done, everyone? Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is the direct consequence of not following a mandatory accounting standard as per ICI guidelines? See, ICI has provided a lot of the accounting standards. If they are not following the accounting standards, what happens? Number one, the company will receive tax benefits. If you are doing all this, how can it be a good thing if you're not following the compliance? Na? Then the audit report will be deemed unqualified. Let's see. The auditors will have to qualify their audits reports, citing the non-compliance, or accounting standard will be automatically revised. You cannot revise a standard. So this is not the point. People are not following it, you will not change. Rather, they will have to change. How will they change? If the same is basically specified in their audit report कि देखिए this particular organization is not following the rules and regulations. That is why they are looking forward to qualifying their reports, making it number C. Okay? Then comes the next part, when the stock is valued at cost in one accounting period and at lower of cost and net realizable value in another accounting period. So you are looking forward towards AS2, right? Under AS2 valuation of inventory, we have cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. So in this case, what happens is prudence principle conflicts with consistency principle, matching principle conflicts with consistency, consistency conflicts with accounting period, or none of the above. See, when we record anything in terms of cost or NRV, what happens in this case is see, if we are trying to sell something and its value in the market declines, then what will happen? If the value in the market declines, we will have to cope up with that particular reality na, कि the value should not decline that much, है ना? So in this case, what will they do? Just to make sure that there should not be any decline in the value of that asset, they would do one thing. That is, कि if that there's a permanent decline, then record it as per the particular valuation today. Do not try to record it at the positive point, because then if there's any loss, then how will we recover from it? So in this case, cost or net realizable value, whichever is less, is basically chosen whenever your inventory is to be valued. So in this case, this is your, but if you're making the changes without going through the fact that normally what happens is you're following one rule. So if you're changing your rule, then is it right or wrong? Technically it is right if it is required by the it is basically the requirement here. If it isn't the requirement, then it's not the issue. So in this case, the problem is we have to follow cost or NRV, whichever is less, but this is basically conflicting with another important concept, which is called consistency principle. If you're following the method A, then continue the method A only, and if you change even, then continue with the change further. But this breaks, for a moment you are breaking up the consistency principle. That's the second question. Sorry, the third question, everyone. Next question. Here comes a specific question from the module B, everyone. Okay, just a moment. I hope this is visible now. A company issued 4,000 equity shares for rupees 50 each at a par payable as under. On application rupees 20%. Acha, theek hai. So we have got 50 rupees na, and 50 ka 20%. 10 rupees, then 40%, and first call 5, and the last is final call 25, 35. 35, I think if we have to look forward to it, 35 plus 15 will make it 50, है ना? Then the question says the applications were received for 10,000 shares. Oh, this is a case of oversubscription. Oversubscription means people applied for more and we are supposed to give them less because of the fact that we have less. So this is your application, and when we have to allot to the people, then this is what we need. Then they say the application was adjusted on the basis of pro rata basis. How much amount will be received in cash on allotment? But to be very honest, this particular question can be converted into multiple case studies, because there can be multiple questions which can be raised from this specific question itself. So let's look at all those particular points which can come out of this question. First of all, people applied for less and they are getting more, or opposite is there. People applied for more, but we definitely have a limited shares, so we cannot give them more. है ना? चलिए then, let's look at the particular answer in a pro rata format. What are the number of excess shares, everyone? The number of excess shares are 6,000. People applied for 10,000 shares, but maximum we can give is 4,000. So 6,000 shares are extra. If 6,000 shares are extra, then you received 10 rupees. Application money extra on it, na? That means rupees 60,000 was the excess that you received in application. Now when you'll call for allotment, allotment will be based upon the shares people have actually got. 4,000 into 20. That is 80. Out of 80,000, you have already received 60k, everyone. So remove this 60k. What are you left with? You are left with 20,000. That would be the point. Done, everyone? Got the idea? Just have a look at it and then we'll continue further. Chaliye. This is the answer. The answer is 20,000. The format which I was using was applications are always on the left hand side and your number of shares allotted are on the right hand side. Okay? Next point. Which of the following circumstances would not necessitate the postponement of revenue recognition according to AS9? AS9 is basically when you receive a revenue or when you are about to receive a revenue, in what case we will record it. When we have uncertainty regarding the collection of the payment, goods sold with a guarantee that allows a return, normal risk of customer default, or completion of significant performance obligations is pending. In which of the following cases you will not wait? You will basically record the particular thing right away. What would be the point, everyone? The answer would be basically normal risk of customer default. Even if there's a normal risk of customer default, it is supposed to be something that we have to record because it is something which is certain in nature. Next question, everyone. Which of the following conditions must be fulfilled for the item of property, plant, and equipment to be recognized as an asset under AS 10? It is probable that the future economic benefits will flow to the enterprise. The item has useful life of less than 1 year. The cost of item is immaterial, or the item must be rented to others. Property, plant, and equipment talks about the fixed assets, everyone. So what is going to be the answer according to you? When we talk about the property, plant, and equipment, it talks about the basics there. When we talk about the property, plant, and equipment, these are those things which are used in the business for a good number of years. You know? So this is the point. This is something which has a useful life which is way longer. And when we talk about the property, plant, and equipment, these are not goods. These are those things that helps us to earn money. So in this case, the correct answer is it is probable that the future economic benefits will flow to the enterprise. That means they become the reason that we earn more, not the thing that we are going to sell and then earn. Next question, everyone. Go ahead and answer. What's the taxable value? Taxable income as per AS22. Do you know AS22 is deferred tax assets? Or if we talk about deferred tax overall, it's asset and liability both actually. When we talk about deferred tax, matlab postponement of tax. Basically, deferred tax fights because we have two very interesting acts standing in front of each other and telling each other that I am better or I am better. What basically happens is we have two acts. First is your Income Tax Act, and the second one is your Companies Act 2013 and Income Tax Act 1961. At some point of time now, both of them just disagreed. What happened was one particular act said, nahi, according to me, this is not an expense. or the other party says nahi nahi, it would be an expense according to me, but not right now. Matlab they had two kinds of problems. One was their timing difference, and second was the differences which were permanent. Regarding permanent difference, you cannot do anything. But regarding the temporary differences, for example, Companies Act said that nahi nahi, it's an expense according to me this year, and company and income tax act said nahi, according to me it would be an expense next year. Matlab if it would be an expense next year, right now you are paying more tax. Whenever you are paying more tax, then it is called a deferred tax asset. And whenever we are paying less tax today, matlab this is based upon today, if you are paying less tax today but you will pay more tomorrow, that is your deferred tax liability. So deferred basically means the amount which is the deferred is basically the postponement. Okay, what is taxable income? The net profit for the period before deducting the expenses, the amount of income for the period determined as per the tax laws, or the total revenue for that period and total expenses. See, total revenue and total expenses are fully out of it. But is it the net profit before tax, or this is after tax? The point is, it is basically in accordance to the tax laws, everyone. We are looking at actually, na, if you look at the particular Companies Act balance sheet and P&L, na, under P&L you will find they will have profits before interest and tax, and then you have your interest wala thing is all done under finance costing. Then you get the total profit after extraordinary and exceptional items. So once you are done with that, you have to remove two kinds of things. One is deferred tax and the second one is current tax. Then that gives you the net profit after tax. So in this case, you have to find your income as per the Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, everyone, here comes the next question. Which of the following errors will be rectified through the suspense account? Suspense account is basically a dummy account which is prepared for what reason? Because we are looking forward to rectification. We are trying to rectify the things, and sometimes we are unable to find which one is to be debited and which one is to be credited. The accounts, of course. So when we are not able to understand the point, and there is one-sided errors, whenever you will find suspense account, na, it is normally a one-sided error which causes the opening of suspense account. Sales return book is undercast by 1000. Sales return by Madhu not recorded. This is error of omission. Omission is not recorded here in terms of suspense account because you forgot to record the entire journal entry. Sales return by Madhu rupees 1000 recorded as rupees 100. Sales return by Madhu rupees 1000 recorded through the purchase return book. So in this case, see, purchase return book wala point is error of commission. ठीक है? C is also error of commission. But when we talk about the point of A, in this case, one particular account is undercast. Not the entire journal entry is to be considered, but only one part of your account is now undercast. So whenever the problem is only one part of it, then we define it as being undercast wala point. And how do we make the journal entry here? Sales return book undercast by rupees 1000. Rectified journal entry is sales return. Sales return is a debit item. So we will say sales return because income is being reversed na. That is why. Account debited to suspense account. Rest every other point, that is your point number B, C and D. In this case, there is a journal entry which requires adjustment, not the suspense account which requires adjustment. ठीक है ना? So answer is A, everyone. Got the idea? Now let's move on to the next point. Which of the following is or are the advantages of maintaining a journal? it says as a transaction in journal are entered as and when they take place, the possibility of omission of transaction in the books is minimized. That's true. That is called journalizing, everyone. uh, Journal facilitates cross-checking on terms of ledger in case the trial balance does not agree. Last one is it is bulky. Anything which you define as bulky, that means you are defining their disadvantage instead of advantage. So that's the wrong point, everyone. So what's correct? Only one, one and two, one and three, or one, two, and three. But in any case, that's they are bulky indeed. But that's not a that is not an advantage, na. That is basically a disadvantage. So in this case, the correct answer is 1 and 2, right? The third one is a disadvantage. Though it defines the problem, but this is a disadvantage. Done, everyone? Now let's move on to the next point. This is from the bills of exchange, everyone. A bill of 12,000 was discounted by A with the banker for 11,880 rupees. Okay. Obviously, the bank will never give you the entire money together. पता है ना? Whenever the banks see, if I sell a particular bill to bank, why would bank give me the entire money together? The bank would be like, I'm not gonna pay the entire amount. So we even need to get some money, right? So this is what the bankers did. They discounted and kept 20 rupees for themselves, and the remaining they would be getting from the pay itself. Sorry, the payer itself. Because the bank is the holder in due course. It is holding the bill within the course. है ना? Original person is not is Mr. A, who is the drawer of the bill. Mr. A is the drawer. Then in this case, the bill was returned dishonored with the noting charge of rupees 20. How much amount will the bank deduct from Mr. A's in terms of dishonor, everyone? वैसे ना, do you know the person who's holding the bill during the period it turned out to be dishonor is responsible for paying the noting charges as well. What do you mean by the term noting charges? Noting charges are those charges which are to be paid when the particular uh, bill receivable becomes what? It becomes dishonored. ठीक है? Noting charges is basically acknowledgement that yes, someone was supposed to pay and they didn't pay. So in this case, what would be the answer, everyone? See, the value of the bill was 12,000. So technically, bank will recover its entire 12,000 rupees. Because why would they leave the discounting part? Interest part was supposed to be due on them. If the person who was supposed to pay doesn't pay, that doesn't mean that bank will not earn the funds. So first point is 12,000 rupees, and the second part is with noting charges of rupees 20. If bank paid this amount, bank will recover it from us and we will recover it from Mr. A. ठीक है? Sorry, from the person to whom we have issued, because we are Mr. A. Discounted by A with the bankers. Done. Let's look at the next question then. The correct answer in this question is 12,020. Done, everyone. Next question. This is a specific question from the bills of exchange. Further. Okay, everyone. Next question बताइए. On 12th of July 2021, a company A draws a bill on B for rupees 550,000 for 1 month, and 15th August is a public holiday. So we already know that 15th August is a public holiday. So why are they asking about this? Probably the due date is gonna fall very near to this public holiday. First of all, remember everyone, this is year 2021, which is not a leap year. है ना? In this case, the bill was drawn on 12th of July. Change the month, it becomes August. And this is 12th of July. It becomes 12th of August. In 12th of August, add 3 days. That is, it goes up to 15th August. But we already know, everyone, that 15th of August is a public holiday. Due to what reason? Independence Day? Done, everyone? In this case, what will happen? Then your declared holiday is 15th of August, and we're talking before that particular day, right? So in this case, since we knew that the amount is this amount is basically stuck for 1 month, 50,000 is stuck for 1 month. But the point is, we need to be clear about that part with the client as well as when the person who is going to be picking up the amount as well. Then what would be the answer in this case, everyone? Is 15th holiday declared holiday? Indeed it is. Then what would you do? When we talk about this 15th of August, 1 month is basically exact 14th of August. Done? What's gonna be the answer? Everybody, what's gonna be the answer in this case? The answer is gonna be 14th of August, everyone. Okay? Why? Asha, note this down. If it's a public holiday, then minus 1 day. If an emergency holiday, everyone, done. In terms of emergency holiday, you will have to go +1. For example, if any very important celebrity dies or any important person for the society dies, so we have that 1 day of mourning period. So that is what we look forward to. So we add one particular day in that case, and we will recover the funds in the next year. Sorry, on the next day. Sorry, not the next year, everyone. The next day. Okay? Acha, bills of exchange is short term or long term, everyone? Bills of exchange is basically what, a negotiable instrument, है ना? Which shows that when you're looking forward to it, one particular party has to pay to another party because of the business which they are doing in between. Done. So let's move on to the next point. Another important area. What do you mean by the term depreciation? I bought a car, and if I use my car regularly, after 2-3 years, the car paint can definitely get a little chipped here and there. They're gonna look at that how many times I'm gonna paint my car in this entire life. All those things has to be noted, na. Everyone, what's the question? Which of the following gives the correct formula for calculating the original cost of an asset in terms of depreciation? In this case, it is original cost is equal to purchase price, the price that you are gonna pay. Or वैसे तो we are Indians, we do not buy things at purchase price. We are always looking forward to at least one part of discount should definitely be there. Everybody, original cost is equal to purchase price. Original cost is equal to purchase price plus freight, or original cost is basically your purchase price plus freight plus installation cost, or none of the above. Always and always remember, everyone, when you have a fixed asset can always be a problem. Everybody, what's going to be the answer in this case? When we talk about depreciation, depreciation is on the value of the asset. Higher the value of the asset, higher would be the amount. है ना? Anything which helps your business to grow is covered under. Done, everyone? In this case, what's going to be the answer? When we talk about depreciation, depreciation is basically the period for which we are using that particular thing. That means the value of that particular asset declines. How do we look at it? When we talk about depreciation, then depreciation is on the total value of the asset. In this case, the total value of the asset is your purchase price plus the freight that you are paying and installation charges. The point where the particular asset becomes ready to use, that entire amount becomes a part of your capital asset. Everybody, that's the correct answer. Next point. This is a practical question, everyone. Machinery was purchased for 50,000 and its useful life is 10 years. At the end of 10th year, it is expected to have a particular sale of 6,000. Actually, I'm getting the money back. Now, but expenses related to the to its disposal are what? 1,000. Matlab, whenever I'm going to sell it up now, I have to do a little more efforts. Just selling it will not help me. So what can we do about it, everyone? What is the net residual value? Residual, वैसे तो this can be converted into any kind of question. For example, they give us the rate and all, so you will have to calculate the closing value as well. This can be made into a twisted question. What can be done, everyone, in this case? Look at this part. The sales value is definitely 6,000. Residual value should be this, but the fact is, to sell this particular asset, you need another level of effort. With that effort, you will lose 1,000 more, and this thing can be sold for maximum 5,000 rupees. They have determined the price of anything which is given based upon the time when it is used and the particular errors that particular these points are having. Done. Okay, everyone, what's going to be the answer in this case? Since you will not receive the entire 6,000 rupees, you will lose 1,000 to gain the remaining amount. So it is 5,000. While in terms of capital gains, what happens is you have your sales minus your consideration or cost. That is your cost of acquisition, giving you an amount. And from this amount, you have to remove the area of tax already paid. When we talk about everything, everyone, I just bought a particular AC. Till the time I don't put my AC, if is there anything that will help my case scenario there? No. If I've got an AC, then only this particular scorching scene is something I can escape now. That means one part, है ना? That means the second part, which is status, if you're looking forward towards the organization and looking at a few things which are basically useful for the organization or not. The worth of that particular asset is 50,000. Okay? While when we talk about the specific area of the purchase price, when you remove the purchase price out of it, you will get your profit or loss. है ना? This is as per Income Tax Act. This is called capital gains. This is something which we'll be talking about tomorrow, as Aarti ma'am would be taking up the session there. Okay? Next question, everyone. Oh, this question is quite lengthy. So I hope now this is visible. Which of the following is or are advantages of written down value method? Written down value method is what method? Under this method, you have a constant decline in the value of the asset. That too, the percentage is fixed. Only the percentage is fixed, everyone. And the decline is on the closing value of the last year, or I can say the opening value of the current year. It results into almost equal burden of depreciation and repair expenses taken together every year on P&L account. Income Tax Act accept this method for the taxation purpose, as large portion of the cost is written off in earlier years. Loss due to obsolescence gets reduced, or all of the above. वैसे ना पता है, if you look at particular method of WDV, let me show you the practical part of it as well. चलिए, so showing you the answer is all of the above. You have a particular asset which you bought. The purchase price of the particular asset is what? You bought it for rupees 1 lakh. The depreciation is what? Depreciation is at the rate of 10%. Say depreciation is 10% for the asset which is constant. So if this is constant, what is it that we are going to do? It is 1 lakh. 10% of 1 lakh is 10,000 rupees. So the next part is 90,000. Now the depreciation under written down value method, the depreciation is charged on the opening value of the current year, or you can say the closing value of last year. So depreciation is 10% of 90,000, not 1 lakh. This is 9,000. So you're left with 81,000. Then depreciation at the rate 10%, which is 8,100, and we are left with 72,900 rupees. So this is called written down value method, everyone. Under WDV, what happens is you record everything in the books of accounts. In what format? You record everything. You record the decline in the value of the asset in a certain manner, that is in the reducing balance, or that is a fixed percentage is there. That is why WDV method is also called fixed percentage method, and it is also called diminishing, because your value of your asset keeps on declining now. Diminishing value method. Can you see? The depreciation is maximum in the first year, and then gradually it is going down as the value of the asset is going down. Next question, everyone. A copy of the sales invoice of rupees 4,000 is not recorded in the sales daybook, everyone. Excess credit of rupees 4,000, excess debit of 4,000, no impact, or none of the above. Everyone, if I look at this particular point, this is basically asking that whether the particular difference will come up with the trial balance or not. A trial balance varies if a part of that particular journal entry is written on one side but missing on the other side. है ना? That is how we define this specific area altogether. So in this case, what's going to be the answer? See, the point is sales day book, we forgot to record it. If it is not recorded either on the debit side or on the credit side, this is basically a two-sided error of omission. When we define this specific area, two-sided error of omission matlab things are gonna change on both the sides because we forgot to record it altogether. So if we forgot to record it altogether, that means we forgot to record the name of the debtor even. Sales day book is for the credit sales. So in this case, since both the debit and the credit side are not written, so ultimately right now if you open that specific trial balance, there is no impact because it is error of omission. Done, everyone? Now let's look at the next point. Here comes a little bigger question. Look at this question. XYZ Limited purchased the plant for rupees 5 lakh on the 1st of April 2020. Then what is happening, everyone? And spent 50,000 for its installation. The salvage of the plant after its use was of 10 years and is estimated for rupees 10 years. Past journal entries for depreciation on 31st of March 2021, everyone. Everybody, what's going to be the answer in this case? Everybody, what's going to be the answer in this case? 5 lakh rupees is your opening value. You spent 50,000 on the installation. It went up to 5 lakh 50,000. Done. The salvage value of the plant after 10 years is 10,000. Now, what's the formula? Do you know the formula for the finding the depreciation, everyone? Normally, if nothing is stated, the formula to be used is cost minus the salvage value divided by life of the asset multiplied by 100. So in this case, it is going to be what? Your cost is 5 lakh. Everybody, what's going to be the answer in this case? Since we're talking about usage, wear and tear, it is going to be depreciation. The depreciation is a debit item or a credit item? Depreciation is a debit item because it's an expense. What's going to be the answer in this case, everyone? The answer in this case is going to be 54,000. Why 54,000? The reason is this. Look at this. You have got your 5 lakh 50,000 is the purchase price. The residual value is 10,000 divided by number of years is 10. So that gives you 5 lakh 40,000 divided by 10, giving you 54,000 rupees per annum as depreciation. So depreciation is to be considered as a nominal account, and your the person's account, any person whose name is accountant is involved, that is going to be on the in this case what's happening, the plant is getting lower na, real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. What are we losing? We are losing our plant. Why? Because there is depreciation going on. So it is going to be depreciation account debited to the plant. Done. चलिए जी, next question. Messrs. Mehra and Sons acquire a machine for 1,80,000 on 1st of October 2020 and spent 20,000 on its installation. The firm writes off depreciation at the rate of 10% on original cost every year. ठीक है, what is the journal entry for charging depreciation to provide to profit and loss account on 31st of March 2021? Okay, everyone, we are looking at something that there's a machine. Okay, there's a machine that costed us 1,80,000. Let's look at this particular question as well. The machine is for 1,80,000. Then you add up 20,000 on it. This is your total installation cost, making it 2 lakh rupees. The firm writes off depreciation at the rate of 10% of the original cost. Everyone, when we talk about original cost, always remember any cost which makes it a highlighted point, everyone. Any cost which is associated with the purchase of that particular product and makes it ready to use, that is to be considered as a cost associated with the particular asset itself. So in this case, what is going to be the answer? It is going to be rupees 2 lakh. ठीक है, multiplied by 10%, making it rupees 20,000 per annum in the first year. If we're talking about depreciation in terms of original cost matlab this is your SLM method. In the last question we talked about WDV, written down value method, matlab on your opening value you calculate the depreciation. Original cost method or straight line method or fixed installment method says that whenever we have to record the depreciation remains the same as it is calculated on the original value of your asset, and same installment is continued till the very end. So that means 1 lakh rupees into this is 2 lakh now, 2 lakh multiplied by 10%. But hold on, there's one more point there. It was bought on 1st of October. 1st October matlab 6 months has already passed. If it is 20,000 per annum, everyone, then divided by 2. So your depreciation is 10k per annum. Okay, and then what will you do? Depreciation is noted as an expense, and yes, it goes into your P&L. So basically what happens is, in the P&L account, do you remember the P&L account? In the profit and loss account, everyone, depreciation is on the debit side. So that means if you're preparing profit and loss account will be debited and depreciation will be credited. So in this case, the correct answer is A. Done, everyone. That's the first question. Matlab, not the first question, but the first question for the area of the SLM. Earlier we were dealing with more of WDV method. Next question, everyone. Which of the following journal entry when is correct in terms of a retained bill is dishonored and noting charges are paid in cash? I issued a bill. Okay, look at the pointer. I am A. I issued a bill on B. For me, it's a bill receivable, and for A or for B, it's a bills payable. And we were supposed to pay. The retained bill is dishonored. So B was supposed to pay for the bill, and I was waiting for his payment. On the day of his payment, he came to me and said, Niharika Ma'am, I do not have money. I'm really sorry. So in this case, what has happened, everyone? My bill receivable is now of no use. I will drag him to the court and tell them कि देखिए, this particular person is not paying the money. So what will they say? They will say, ठीक है, in this case the person is again your debtor. Now the bill is gone because we have acknowledged that the person hasn't paid. So this is B to BR. The particular person's name has to be debited. BR is to be credited. And also at the same time, I haven't paid the cash there, है ना? So in this case, you will pay the noting charges to cash as well, because the one who is holder of the bill in due course has to pay the noting charges. Whosoever is holding the bill on the day of its payment, due date of its payment, if the company fails to pay, whosoever is supposed to pay doesn't pay, then what will happen? Then this particular amount would be basically paid by the person who's holding the bill. Okay, who was there to collect the money, be it anybody. So bill receivable is debited. Nahi, bill receivable is actually gone, your asset is gone. So can I say in this case B's account? I think let's look at this part. First of all, the noting charges are paid. The noting charges are going to be recovered again from B. Who else will pay? I paid. I am getting harassed. I am getting I need compensation because he was supposed to pay me and he didn't pay. Right? So I can take them to the court. So basically, this noting charge is also something I'll recover from him. I'll be like, wait. I paid this noting charges, but I'll recover it from you itself. That means my debtor is now increasing further with more amount. So B account debit is increasing more. For example, in this case, everyone, uh, B's account, he's supposed to pay 10,100. Your bill receivable in this case was 10,000, which you have lost, and then you have lost cash as well. What's gonna be the answer in this case, everyone? I've given you the hint of what can be the answer. In this case, the answer is gonna be bill receivable noting charges to B. No, this is wrong वैसे. This is not the point. This particular point is wrong. Whenever we are trying to find out what has happened na, so in this case the person is again our debtor. Acha, this is again, if I talk about from the debtor point of view, it was like this. Now let's understand from the point of the bill receivable. No, it has to be the person who is supposed to pay is the debtor has to be debited again, and your bill receivable has to go. So this is the wrong entry. This question has a problem there. Okay. Okay, everyone. Next question. When we talk about the public and the private company, this is from the company accounts itself. How is the private company distinguished? Just a moment. Visible now? How is the private company distinguished from a public company based on its articles? Private company have unlimited members while public company are limited to 200. Public company restrict the transfer of shares while private allow free transfer. Private companies allow public subscriptions while public companies do not. And the public companies are controlled by the government and the private are not. Everyone? What's going to be the answer according to you? वैसे ना private and public companies are two different types of companies. There is something called public sector company, that is our government company. ठीक है? So what's the answer in this case, everyone? When we talk about private company has a limit actually. Public company has no limit. This is also wrong. Public company restricts a transfer. nahi. In a public company, if I am a shareholder of a public company, I can sell the share as in the way I want to. So there's no problem there. So in this case, then the next point is what? Private company allows public subscriptions? नहीं. So public companies वैसे ना नहीं, most of them are wrong. So I think the correct answer is basically public companies restrict the transfer while private नहीं. Basically na private companies have a restriction for transfer. Only the people who are allowed can do this. Not everybody can do this, and for that you need permissions of other people as well who are having the shares. So under public companies, when you are trying to sell the shares, there is a certain kind of restriction. That is also, this particular point is partially true. The transfer can be made only if you're a part of the organization and shares are being bought and sold, है ना? चलिए जी, let's look at the next question. Everyone, this is a question from the cash flow statement. What do you mean by cash flow statement? Cash flow statement is defined under AS AS3 or IND AS7. What is it? What does it say exactly? What does the negative cash flow from operating activities indicate? The company is generating sufficient cash to cover its operating expenses. The company is experiencing a cash deficit from its core of business. The company is highly profitable, or the company has high liquidity. What's going to be the answer according to you? Okay. When we talk about what does negative cash flow of operating activities indicate? Operating activities means your day-to-day business is going wrong. Then we say that your business is not working good. That is how we define the term operating activities, everyone. So in terms of cash flow statement, we have three kind of activities. Operating, then we have investing, and then we have financing. These are the three different types of activities which are done under cash flow statement. Operating is your day-to-day business. Investing is when you invest in terms of fixed assets or non-current assets, I would say. And financing is when you're dealing with your shares or your debt. So in this case, operating activity is what? This helps in generating, if it is negative, matlab I am facing problems in my business. That to my core business money. The business is experiencing cash deficit is the point. This is not profitable. It has nothing to do with liquidity as well. If you are having negative cash flows, matlab you are not having enough funds. If someone comes to me and asks me that, Niharika ma'am, pay me this much amount of money today, then I'm not having that much money. That is something which the particular question is telling us. Okay? Then comes the company is experiencing a cash deficit to its core business operations. Done, everyone? चलिए जी, let's move to the next question further. Next question. How does the indirect, okay, this is visible clearly now. Okay. How does the indirect method of presenting cash flows differ from direct method? Do you know, as per the cash flow method, na, what happens is in terms of how do we specify? Okay. When we talk about the methods, there are two kinds of methods. First is direct method and second is indirect method. When we talk about these two methods, indirect method is the method which is prescribed by SEBI. SEBI said that use the indirect method whenever you have to show your books of accounts as per the cash flow statement, everyone. So when we talk about the cash flow statement, it can be defined as something which talks about the movement of cash, inflow, outflow, any kind of flow. So when we are receiving funds or losing funds, we are going to talk about the cash flow statement. Exclusively, it is basically linked with cash. Obsession with cash is there. That is how we define the cash flow statement. Okay. The question says that the indirect method adjusts net income for non-cash items. Then direct method actually reports it. It records actual cash receipts and cash payments. Indirect method reports the cash flows of the major operating activities, while direct method provides a detailed breakdown. Indirect method is mandatory for all companies, while direct method is optional. No, no, this is just not there. Overall, SEBI has suggested that you should always show your books of accounts as per the indirect method only. Practically, when I was a kid, na, matlab, this is something that we discuss in class 12th. I'm sorry. In class 12th, our teachers only told us one thing, that there are two methods, direct and indirect. Just follow the indirect method because direct is not even used anywhere. So this is one particular method which is not even taught in our classes there. Right. Okay, everyone. Continuing further, the question says that the indirect method is used for manufacturing companies while the direct method is used for service oriented business. Um, nahin. This particular point is again wrong. As I told you, there is nothing of this sort. Direct method in our India, in our countries, practically not used. Indirect method, there's one particular pointer. Under indirect method, now you take your net profit and then you adjust all the non-operating and non-cash items. Whatever plus or minus you have to do, you will do that part. That is how we define the area of the operating activities. Okay? So in this case, the correct answer is the indirect method adjusts the non-cash items, while direct method says ki nahi nahi. Direct method says just record everything that you receive in cash from your business, remove everything which you are losing from your business in cash. Okay, so basically obsessed with cash overall. The term cash flow statement says that I am obsessed with cash. Cash comes in, note down. Cash goes down, note down. Rest everything can wait. That is how we define this specific area, everyone. Done. Chaliye. Moving on to the next question. XYZ purchased machinery of rupees 1 lakh. Rate of depreciation is 10%. At WDV value method, what is the amount of depreciation for 4 years, everyone? 34,390. This is 33,291, 33,109, and the last one is 33,012. What's gonna be the question, everyone? How do we discuss this? Let's look at the specific question further. We purchase something for rupees 1 lakh. Done. Rate of depreciation is 10%. This is WDV. Arey, we did the WDV question just now, na? So this was similar to this that we're dealing with. 1 lakh minus 10%. For the first year, it is minus 10,000, giving us 90,000. Acha, everyone. Now let's talk about it in detail. Na? There is another way. What are they asking us? Are they asking me that Niharika ma'am, give us the detail of the amount which is left or the total amount of depreciation? This is very simple. When we talk about the question, they're saying just tell me the depreciation. I don't care what is the value of your asset. So that is quite disappointing. You are not asking. वैसे तो in terms of examination ना, please remember depreciation comes in the case study format. Case study मतलब this particular chapter comes in a certain way कि they give you multiple questions from depreciation. So how do we cope it up? As my buddy, that's the calculator which you're supposed to use. And the best part is वैसे there's one particular reality, everyone. Since we are starting with the particular topic today itself, and we have the entire week with us, always remember, choose one particular calculator that is gonna help you in your examination. Being in the field of finance, one particular thing is there that our calculators is one particular best friend that we normally carry. I personally have multiple calculators wherever I study and where I work. Both the areas have kept separate calculators because this is one particular thing which is inevitable. I need it. Okay. Second part, pick up your calculators in this case, and what you need to do is they are not asking you anything else but just asking you what is the depreciation. Is there a shortcut to calculate it? There is, but before that, let's look at the long point. This is 90,000 on your, there's one way. There are different ways of finding the questions in terms of your calculator. This is my calci, everyone. I picked it up and they want 1 lakh na, so this is 1 lakh rupees minus, I just clicked on minus there, and minus, click on 10, and then this is your percent. Where is it? Percent kahan gaya? Here. There it is, percentage. Apologies, there's some problem with the vision for me. It is 90,000. From 90,000, remove the next 10%. Minus 10%. That will give you 81,000. Last is 81,000 is left. Then minus 10%. Then you are left with the next part. That is 10,000, 1 lakh minus 10% gives you 90, minus 10%, 81. Then comes 81,000 minus 10% will give you 72900. Then minus 10% will give you 65610. Okay, let me show you there. This is minus 10%. This is 9,000. Just a moment. Let's continue further. This is minus 9,000 will give you 81,000. Then minus 10%, that gives us 8100. Okay, we are left with 72,900 everyone. From 72,900, remove the next 10,000. Removing the sticker everyone. Minus 10% further. This is 7290, giving me an amount of 65610. Long method, just take up 1, 2, 3 and 4. है ना? This is the method. Highlighter. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are gonna add all these and we'll be able to find out the total value of what? Depreciation, which would be there in terms of the 4 years. है ना? Within the 4 years, this will be the depreciation. So that's one part. Now the second part is, why don't we do something else? What can be done? Pata hai? Look at this part. The first year's depreciation was 10,000, and everyone, there's a decline. Total depreciation is 10%, which is there for every year. That means if your total amount is 100, out of it 10% decline is there every year. That means by every year, whatever is left is 90%. है ना? If the percentage is 10% in terms of your declining, every year we are going to take 10% chunk out of the total amount. Then depreciation for the first year is 10k. Then take 90% of it. How did I take 90%? 100 minus depreciation percentage. That gives us 9,000. Now 90% of it, 9,000 and 90%, 8,100. And then 90% of 8,100 everyone. Just giving a verification. 8,100, 90%. That makes it 7,290. So here comes the answer. See, I told you can actually minimize your efforts. 10,000 plus 9,000 plus 8,100 and plus 7,290. Total comes out to be 34,390. So according to me, the answer is A. Done everyone? Got the idea? This is the answer. Done. Interesting question, na? These are the ways, but this kind of question can be asked in the form of a case study format. They will say, what is the depreciation for nth year? For the second year, what was the depreciation? Then they will say, what is the total amount of balance left after third year? So basically what you need to do is just calculate the entire thing, and whatever they are asking, just start answering that part accordingly. Okay, na? Oh, the answer is, just let me correct it for you. Acha everyone, you know na, you can collect the particular PDF of this from our virtual library. The details of the virtual library is given below. And if you're looking forward to the revision classes are officially beginning today itself from 7 p.m. So please be there on YouTube channel with me. I'll be taking the particular session with you. And along with this, if I'll be there for the particular session, one more thing is definitely there. If you're planning to purchase the course, then do it right away. I and Aarti ma'am would be with you throughout the particular week. And if you're planning to purchase the course, then go ahead and use the code Y541 stated above as well as in the ticker area below. That is the code that you can use and get 80% discount. So go ahead and check it out. And everyone, if this particular session is helping you out, just go ahead and like it and share it among your peers. Next question, everyone. Oh, another question from depreciation. I know a couple of numerical questions are being added, but don't worry, numerical is an important part. Normally, depreciation is one particular chapter which is often asked from the numerical point of view itself. Okay, coming to the question, it says cost of the asset 10 lakh, estimated residual value 10%, estimated useful life 4 years. Find the accumulated depreciation for the second year using the double declining balance method. Double declining balance method is basically uh, it's a brother of the method that is called SLM, straight line method. Na, the first method, original cost method, it's one of the buddies of that particular method. Under this area, what do? They are looking forward towards accumulated depreciation for the second year. Normally when we talk about this area, uh, it is basically 1 divided by the life of asset is the depreciation that they are charging under this. So that is 1 divided by 4. So 1 divided by 4 multiplied by that is gonna be 25%. Okay. So that is going to be 25% is gonna be there every single um, point of time. So that is gonna be hello. Okay, children. Sorry everyone. Just looking at that part, it is going to be 25%. So when we talk about double declining balance method, it is giving you 1/4 of that particular uh, entire depreciation is based upon the area. The rate is actually rate of depreciation, to be simple. Rate of your depreciation is going to be 1 divided by life of the asset, that is 1/4 in this case, then multiplied by 2. So in this case I think I can go with the particular depreciation is going to be 50%. In the first year it is going to be 10 lakh. Okay, 10 lakh into 50% everyone, then you are left with what? 50% is 5 lakh, है ना? So 5 lakh is definitely there. By the second year, what's gonna be the depreciation? Two. And second part is there in terms of second year, na? So it's gonna be minus 10 lakh, 4 lakh 50. There's some issue with this question. I think the correct answer is not added in this area. So I'm going to just give you the particular brief information about this. When we talk about the depreciation under double declining method, na, it is basically 1 divided by the life of the asset. Then in this case, the depreciation is going to be 50% of the value. So in this case, the first year it is going to be 50%, and the second year again the 50% of it, depending upon that particular point. So I'm going to skip this question because there's some issue with the point. Okay, here comes the next question, which is a copy of sales invoice of rupees 4,000 is not recorded in the sales day book. So what is going to happen in your trial balance in this case, everyone? How is your trial balance going to react? It's an excess credit of 4,000, excess debit of 4,000. There is no impact or none of the above. Whenever we have this particular point where the sales book is being affected, you forgot to record something. That means this is an error of omission, everyone. If we talk about error of omission, we have done a similar question just now. A few couple of questions before, we have talked about this particular concept as well. When you forget to record something, error of omission is of two types. It is of two types. One is partial omission and one is complete omission. When you forget to record something completely, this will never affect your trial balance. This will never affect your trial balance. But this will always affect your trial balance because either it is recorded on the debit side or recorded on the credit side. It is not recorded completely, but recorded partially. When such a thing happens, then there would be a problem. When the entire sales invoice is not recorded, the entire sales is missed out, that simply means there's no impact of it. Done? Oops. Okay, here comes the next question, everyone. Go ahead and answer. This is not the serial number. Huh? This is something, since I was just setting up the question wala area, na? This is not the serial number. Everyone, a supplier's invoice for rupees 2500 is posted to the debit of the trade payable account. Trade payable matlab this particular person is supposed to pay us. For what reason? Trade payable matlab the amount which is payable in terms of what? Trade payable is basically the creditor or the bills payable, the person to whom I have to pay. So the supplier's invoice of rupees 2500 is posted to the debit. Everyone, instead of posting this guy on the credit side, he was supposed to be on the credit side. This was supposed to be here, 2500. Okay. So what did I do is I posted it on the debit side by 2500. That means at this point of time the difference would be of what, pata? The difference would be of 5000. Why, everyone? First of all, this 2500 is missing and this 2500 is added. That means the total difference that we have got is of 5000. है ना? Done, everyone? Got the idea? The total difference is of 5000. Why? If this particular area, if this is missing, this should be 10,000 and this should be 7500. Right now, if this 2500 is missing, right now what I did was this 2500 is missing altogether and we have made 12,000 2500 further in this area, making it 12,500. So when this kind of error occurs, there's a doubling of amount, making it 5000. Everyone, please avoid the serial number. This serial number is not the correct answer, correct serial number for the questions that we have done till now. ठीक है जी? The daily total of the sales day book is stated as rupees 3,45,000 instead of 3,15,000. वैसे this used to happen earlier because ना earlier this was all handwritten. अब तो everything is going through the particular software, so there's no issue like that. So in this case, what will happen, everyone? An overcast by 30,000 rupees, or there's no impact. Excess debit of by rupees 30,000, excess credit by 30,000, or none of the above. What's going to be the answer? The daily total of the sales day book is overstated, overcast. Overcast means if it is going to be here, we are putting it here. So what do we do? In this case, my debit side is more or credit side is more? Sales is something which affects your credit side. Sales is your income. Okay? So when we talk about income, that means if we have noted more income, that means my credit side is more by 30,000. This is almost a very, I would say, a simple question because the particular differences and the particular treatment is already clearly stated. And easy peasy question. Next question, which of the following will not affect the trial balance? Goods sold on credit, not recorded in the books. Overstating of sales register. Rent account credited instead of debit. Salary debited to the extent of half the amount. Which will not affect a trial balance? Error of omission doesn't, provided it is an account which is basically completely not recorded. Matlab complete omission is there, tab to there is definitely no problem. And goods sold on credit not recorded. Here is the point then. This is error of omission. Overstating of sales. This is your error of commission. Normally affects the trial balance. Rent account created instead of debit. Commission. Salary debited to the extent of half the amount, basically not completely recorded. This is again error of commission, or I can say clerical errors. So in this case, the correct answer is goods sold on credit, not recorded in the books. Next question, everyone. Which of the following functions is commonly performed by accounting software like SAP and Oracle? Statutory compliance and report generation, video editing and design, managing the social media accounts, or running e-commerce platforms. SAP and Oracle. But these are basically international level accounting softwares which are used. This is used for statutory compliance and report generation. It's a part of CBS there. This is a question from CBS. Okay, everyone, next question. Which of the following errors will be rectified through the suspense account? Sales return book is undercast by 1000, or Acha, this is a question which we have done already, just a repetition, so I'm going to discuss it again. Sales return book is undercast. When one part is undercast, you don't know the other counterpart of this question. Matlab, what counterpart should be there in the journal entries. So if the counterpart is not known to me, that is a problem na. That is why when we talk about this undercast wala scenario, how do we deal with it, everyone? In this case, this is by using the suspense account. How do we deal with this? Sales return book is undercast. Matlab the sales return is basically a debit item. So I will write it as sales return account debited to suspense account. Okay? This is how I'll be recording it in the books of accounts. Done? Okay. Next question, everyone. The next question says that Vision Limited receives a check for rupees 100. It is in the cash book. This is a question from BRS, everyone. And deposits it on the same day. You got a check and you deposit it in the bank and on the same day. Then what happens is the statement sent by the bank that day does not show your 1000. Of course, sometimes the particular check that you have deposited is not cleared on the same day. Na? Normally, my bank used to take 3 days. Now they have started taking 2 days. So in any case, they are taking their time, isn't it? Then the statement sent to the bank is this. How is this shown in the bank reconciliation statement? Can I say this when we talk about Vision Limited? This is a check deposited but not cleared. है ना? It's a check deposited but not cleared. So this is uncredited deposits added to the bank statement. Oh, then unpresented check. You have presented the check to the bank. That means this is not given in my bank statement yet. So this is the answer is this is an uncredited deposit added to the bank statement balance. We will show it in the books of accounts that way. Na ki haan, this is supposed to be a part of our bank statement. Done? Chaliye. Now comes the next question, everyone. The next question says balance shown in the cash book is 10,000. Check issued but not presented for payment is 4,000. Check deposited but not collected is 3,000. balance as per the passbook will be 9, 10, 11 and none. Okay, question from BRS everyone. Everybody, what's gonna be the answer? Okay, balance shown in the cash book is 10K. Written there. The check issued but not presented for payment. What do you mean by this, everyone? A check is issued. Matlab from my side, I thought that check is issued. So this is cash book, this is passbook. So cash book says the check is issued but not presented for payment. I thought the check is gone but the person didn't come. And the passbook is like, what? Nobody came to take the money out. What are you doing? So in this case, what will we do? We will come back to that 10 4,000 rupees. Basically na, I will do whatever passbook is doing so that we can reconcile. That is how we reconcile, everyone. When you are having fight with someone, you need to sit down and listen to what they are saying. A philosophical part of it, of course. Checks deposited but not collected. In this case, I am like, Array, I have received money. Passbook said, Nahi, I haven't received the check yet. It is under clearing. So I will come back to whatever passbook is standing at. That means I will do a minus 3,000. So in this case, it is 10 plus 4 minus 3. 11,000 is there. My answer is 11K. The passbook balance should be 11K. So yes, there is a discrepancy between the two because of these two specific areas. But whenever cash book is exclusively wrong, only the cash book is making some mistakes. Yeah, this happens when the accountant is doing some mistakes and we want to correct them. So for all them, we make amended cash book. But in the amended cash book, we do not record these 2 points because in this case, none of the parties are wrong. It's just the time that at this point of time, one party is saying I deposited, the other party says no, I didn't receive the money yet. So this particular thing is considered in this area. The answer is 11K. Done. Let's look at the next question then. For which of the following security premium or share premium reserve may be applied? Security premium or share premium is an account which is a capital account, basically capital gain. Basically, in terms of this, if you ask for the people to provide you money for the shares, you wanted people to invest in your company. So in terms of share premium, what is happening is you are asking them to give you more. ठीक है कि सर देखिए the share is for 100 rupees, you're gonna pay me 10 rupees more because that's the goodwill that we are having in the market. People will pay more, and this particular money is something that you can use only for specific purposes, not for any specific any general purpose. This is only for a specific purpose. That is why it's called a specific reserve. So when we talk about these specific reserves, everyone, how does it work? It says the issue of fully paid bonus shares to the members of the company, writing off preliminary expenses of the company, writing off expenses of commission paid or discount allowed on any issue of shares or debentures of the company. What's going to be the answer according to you? Everyone, sorry. The answer is all of the above. Share a security premium reserve can be used for 5 exclusive uses. Okay, what I'll do is I'll share the particular list in the next session that we'll be taking. Done. Okay, everyone. According to Section 55 of the Companies Act 2013, what is prohibited in terms of preference shares? Preference shares, not every type is allowed. There are certain types which are allowed and certain types which are not. Issuing non-participating preference shares, issuing irredeemable preference shares, issuing non-cumulative preference shares, or issuing redeemable preference shares. What's going to be the answer, everyone? What's going to be the answer? Okay, now let's look at this specific question further again. When we talk about redeemable and irredeemable preference shares, in our country, we are not allowed to issue preference shares where they are not redeemable. That means if people pay for those shares and we do not pay them back, this kind of thing is not allowed. Normally, if you take money from people in terms of shares, then after 20 years max, those people have to be repaid in terms of preference shares, not in equity. So, in our country, after 20 years, the shares have to be redeemed. We call it redeemable preference shares. Okay? So, the answer is issuing redeemable irredeemable preference shares is not allowed in our country. वैसे maximum it is 20 years, but for infrastructure companies, everyone, for infrastructure companies. For infrastructure companies, it is not allowed. For infrastructure companies, they can go beyond 20 years, but up to 30 years normally. Okay, this particular question font size is a little bigger, so let me just correct it for you a little bit. Everyone, please share the session and like the session and subscribe to the channel right away. If this particular session is helpful, then please help us out and motivate us by liking the session. Okay, everyone, what distinguishes convertible preference shares from non-convertible preference shares? Convertible preference shares have a right to participate in surplus. Convertible preference shares can be redeemed within specific period. They can be exchanged with equity, or convertible preference shares are liable to be redeemed in case of winding up. In terms of winding up, when the company dies, everybody is getting the money except equity shareholder. They are the ones who live on leftovers. So that's only the shareholders which are living off the leftovers, residual amounts, and also that is one point. But that's not the point of getting equity in terms of risk taking, na. So they're risk takers in that they got money when we have surpluses, which is again something which is not convertible. When we talk about convertible, you're an outsider, you become an insider. That is how you can convert, na. Insider is basically what? Equity shareholder, preference shareholder, debentures, these are outsiders. But once you decide that I want to be an insider, that means you will be an equity shareholder having equal right, or depending upon the right you agree upon, the different classes of shares for equity shares. So in this case, the voting rights that you will get if you become an equity shareholder. So in this case, the correct answer is convertible preference shares can be exchanged with equity shares at a later date. So in this case, the correct answer is C. Done, everyone? Got the idea? Chaliye. Moving on to the next point. Acha, everyone, if you want to download the specific session now, this particular session there, what you can do is please go ahead and in the particular session itself, if you can see it in the below area, there's in the description itself, there's something called virtual library. I'll be uploading it there, and along with this, you can also find it on my Telegram channel. I'll put it there. That is JIIB. Uh, this is 2024. Just a moment. Here, JAIIB 2024 with Niharika Ma'am. My name is Niharika, so you will find me there. This is the name of the Telegram channel. You can join it and be there. And we can definitely look forward towards the PDFs and the updates there. Okay? Chaliye ji. Starting with the next point, everyone. Which of the following is or are the advantages of written down value method? It results in almost into equal burden of depreciation and repair expenses. Where this happens? In the beginning, you can have more depreciation. By the end of the life of the asset, we don't have more of depreciation, but what we have is we have more of repair expenses, so we get to claim good amount of expenses because of that asset throughout its life. That's one part, that is true. Income tax except this method for tax purposes, that is also correct. Only two methods are allowed, straight line and WDV, in terms of in the eyes of income tax. Rest as per depreciation, if I talk about, normally in the particular accounting standard only, they had given almost 10 different methods. And yes, this is not the limit, there are many others. As a large portion of the cost is written off in the earlier years, loss due to obsolescence gets reduced. Again, you've got the particular benefit of that expense or asset already by claiming more depreciation, so later on you don't really have to worry much. So this is correct, all of the above. Done, everyone? That's another point. Okay, now that we are done with this, what next do we have? Next question. Uh, this is a question of reasoning and assertion, everyone. So let me know the answer there. This is accounting information refers to only events which are concerned with business firm. Accounting information is presented in financial statements. We say, everyone, whenever we talk about the accounting information, just always of your account of your business itself. You know, you cannot record anything which doesn't belong to your business, isn't it? So if it records only your business, then what will we do? Whenever we are recording this specific area, I think that's one particular basic that we can look forward to is this is both are correct. Now, how can I say a part of it is correct? Right? Chaliye. Now let's move on and talk about the next part. The answer is, oh, just a moment. The option has to be corrected first. The correct answer is A, both A and R are correct. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next question, everyone. X purchased, okay, X purchased the plant for 5 lakh and spent 50,000 on its installation. That means the price of this particular asset is now 5 lakh 50,000. You know? And that too in the beginning of the year. The salvage value of the plant after its useful life is 10 years is estimated to be 10,000. Matlab, everyone, cost minus the salvage value divided by the life of the asset. Life of the asset is 10 years. So in this case, what's going to be the answer? We are left with 5 lakh 40,000 rupees. This is the method of your original straight line method, which says cost minus salvage value divided by life. So this is 5 lakh 40,000 divided by 10k, which will give you rupees 54,000. How do we charge depreciation, everyone? Depreciation is on the debit side, always debited, and The value of the plant is declining. So answer is depreciation to plant. Okay, that's the rule. Okay, the last question for the day, everyone. But before I end further, just a moment. Is this visible clearly? A trader started a business and he sold worth rupees 60,000 for rupees 1 lakh 20, out of which only 1 lakh rupees was collected during the year. He had a closing stock of rupees 10,000 and his business expenses were 20k, out of which 5,000 were outstanding during the year. Everyone, when we talk about accrual concept says even if things become due or not, we record it accordingly. How do we work? Uh, he sold goods worth rupees 60k for rupees 1 lakh 20. So our sales in this area should be 1 lakh 20. And the closing stock, he had a closing stock of 10k. And when we talk about the incomes, his expenses were 20,000. है ना? So let's look at the particular profit. Everyone, by sales is rupees 1 lakh 20. ठीक है? The closing stock was 10k. Your opening stock was 60k. And the expenses that they incurred were 20,000. है ना? So in this case, okay, when we talk about this question, what's going to be the answer, everyone? I think let's make it simpler. When we talk about the closing stock, let's not consider the closing stock here. I bought something for 1 lakh 160k, sold it for sold it for 1 lakh 20. So 1 lakh 20 minus 60 giving me rupees 60,000. है ना? Then what happened is he had a closing stock. This is it. 20,000 is your expense. So let's remove the expense of 20,000 as well. Na? Entire 20,000 should be allowed. So the last part is 40k. The answer is 40k, everyone. The answer is B. Done, everyone. I hope this particular session was helpful. If it was, then please go ahead and like the session and subscribe to the channel right away, and at the same time share it among your peers, everyone. But before I end my session, again I am meeting you at 7 p.m. today for our YouTube session, which is going to related to the area of our examination. Okay, so before I end my session, everyone, here comes our website www.adda247.com. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Go on to the area of exclusively the JIB October 2024. Here is our Parpack revision batch. Everyone, click on our Parpack revision batch. Click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541. The code is given at above as well as in the below area. Just click on this area, get the revision batch right away, and you can get for 1,999.20. So preparing for this examination, you have got 1 week. That's enough with us. We can prepare together, provided you are joining in advance. So go ahead and everyone, don't waste your time anymore. If you're preparing and you need the guidance, then choose the correct path right away and go for the particular guidance right away as well. Use the code Y541 to get this particular discount, everyone. It is up to 80% off right now. Download the app, you can get up to 81% there. And everyone preparing for this examination, I hope you'll be doing well. So all the very best for AFM. And stay tuned. In the entire week, me and Aarti ma'am would be there with you for the entire week for AFM.